The innovative business that we decided to visit in DC was Georgetown Cupcakes. Before even coming into the store, you know that the store is a really big deal because they have a long line of people waiting just to get in. One thing that we noticed that Georgetown set themselves apart from other cupcake places was the pink box that they put their cupcakes in, as opposed to just the generic white box that most cupcake places put their cupcakes in. Also, they had a visible display which allowed customers to see exactly how they made the cupcakes. They had a small dining area which catered to customers
Should we put
that were
those
on
one
the
for
move and
5 minutes
didn't have a lot
display?
of
Yeah.
time to eat.
So visible.
Also, they had a they also have good decorations that are unique just to Georgetown Cupcakes.
Careful, they're getting cupcake on you.
The business in Georgetown that we decided to visit was the Nike store. As you can see, the store is very aesthetically pleasing and mimics the way that a basketball court would look like. A thing that our group noticed while going through the Nike store was to go upstairs, you actually had to walk through the store. Another thing that we noticed was that the mannequins and the posters of the athletes wearing them were directly right next to the display. The another thing that we also noticed was the people that worked at the Nike store looked like they played the sport that they were selling. The next technology that we found interesting that was in the Nike store was a technology called Trail Run, which is basically a treadmill that Nike has, and you can run on the treadmill, and the treadmill shows you what kind of feet and what kind of shoes that you need. When we first walked into the Tesla store, we went right to one of the employees to talk about the whole business. One thing that we found very interesting was that Tesla actually has a small amount of on-hand inventory and relies on customers to customize their vehicle to make, and then they will make the vehicle directly for them. Um, then I went to ask the employee exactly what her role was in the company, and she said that her role was to help the customers through the process of creating their own car. And then she also talked about the culture of the company. And she says the culture of the company is very even, there's no hierarchy. She would be able to email Elon Musk whenever she would want to, and he would reply to her. So I thought that was really cool. Three lessons that you can learn from Tesla's launch that can be applied to any company or organization for greater success is number one, any creative endeavor starts with purpose. Two, do one thing with excellence before you roll out with other things. And the last one, you must demonstrate something for people to believe in. While visiting the National Museum of American History, we looked for 5 innovations that changed the life of Americans. The first innovation that we noticed was the invention of the Mac. The Mac made it easier for people to use computers and made it popular to have a personal computer. The next invention that we had was the invention of the turntables. This made it easier for DJs to switch between songs and even create a everlasting beat. The next innovation that we picked out was the creation of a bike. This made it easier for people to travel from one place to another. The next innovation after a bike that we noticed was the invention of a car. This made it quicker to travel than compared to a bike or any other form of transportation at the time. The last invention that we noticed was the creation of a protective jumpsuit. This made it safer for people to handle chemicals. For lunch, we decided to go to Miss Shagun's, which is authentic Vietnamese food. One essential lesson that our restaurant taught us about connecting with its market and being different from other foods, especially fast food, is that the mood that the restaurant set. They had cool lights and a really big fish tank that gave you the feel that you were actually in the Vietnam eating their food. And from this, you can take away that the atmosphere can add to the product that you're selling or the service that you're giving. The last stop that we had on our trip was Trader Joe's grocery store. An essential ingredient for Trader Joe's business model is to sell organic and all natural food. And a unique culture at the store that makes employees want to work there is a family like culture that encourages employees to have fun while they work. One idea that you can take away from Georgetown Cupcakes is their idea of making the customers line up just to get inside of the store, which engages customers that are not even in the store to even get into the line because they think that the cupcakes are even better than they are. A takeaway that our group got out of visiting the Nike store in Georgetown was that the layout of the store really matters and it can engage customers into products that they might not normally go for. While visiting the National Museum of American History, you can really notice that all the innovators had one question, which was, how can I make a certain customer's life easier? Lastly, a takeaway that our group took out of visiting Trader Joe's is that the culture of a company really drives the way that employees work.